Hello?
Hi, is this Robert?
Yeah.
Hi, it's Danielle calling from the Ombudsman's office.
Yeah.
Do you have a couple minutes?
Yeah, sure.
All right, your phone's a bit fuzzy.
Staticky, I know.
Okay, there's nothing you can do about it?
Well, it's a Magic Jack phone. I think I have to order a new Magic Jack.
Oh, okay. All right, so I looked over your documents that you sent, and I'm looking at the letter that you received from the OIPRD.
Yeah. Which one? Which complaint?
So the complaint that you were telling me about.
The one where the landlord stole my stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the complaint that you...
Yeah, there was another one I sent you, too.
Yeah, but I know that you sent me another one, but did you, like, the one that you're complaining about here...
Yeah.
This is the one, right? Or is it the other one as well?
Both of them.
Both, okay. Let's see here. Can you hold for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Please? Thanks. Hi, Robert. Thanks for holding.
Yeah.
Right. So I reviewed both complaints where, you write to the OIPRD and say that, in the first one that you weren't happy that they didn't look into your complaint. And the second one, they decided to drop it. So, in this situation, the most appropriate thing to do would be to consult a lawyer. Have you talked to a lawyer?
No, I don't have any money to pay for a lawyer, but I know the law.
Well, the letter that you received does say that your case is closed, and if you wish to pursue, you may do so by, commencing an action.
Yeah, you can't.
With the Superior Court. I can give you a referral to the Law Society referral.
No. My complaint isn't against the OIPRD. It's against the Attorney General's office.
Yeah, okay. So, like I explained to you last time, let me just open this up here. There's nothing that our office can do in this situation because the Attorney General's office does not, does not oversee the OIPRD for individual decisions on complaints.
Yes, it does.
If you can refer to 1.3b of the MOU. I don't know if you've read that part of it.
Yeah, what does it say?
So it says, while the OIPRD reports to the Ministry for administrative purposes, it carries out its statutory functions in relation to the police complaints process independently of the Attorney General and the Ministry. That
means they can't interfere in a decision that's about to be made. They can't. The Ministry can't look into a complaint that's still being processed. But one that's been processed, they can investigate.
It's saying it carries out its statutory function in relation to police complaints independently. So that's police complaints generally. So I mean, I see that you have some legal arguments, that you sent me, and if you want to have those heard, you can start an action.
You can't sue. I sued the RCMP twice. I sued the RCMP twice because I wrote to them about it, and the judge.
Well, this isn't the RCMP.
I know, but the judges are under the same pressure as cops are, and they'll just throw the lawsuit out. So you're admitting to me that they're wrong in what they did, but you're saying there's nothing you can do about it.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So why would you tell me to start an action then?
I'm saying that's your only recourse at this point.
How is it the only recourse?
Because there's nothing that our office is going to do.
It says in the MOU that they're governed by the Police Services Act and the MOU.
Yeah, they are.
Right, so the MOU applies then.
I'm not going to argue with you about that, about how to interpret that. If that, like I said, if you have some arguments to make, you can express them when you're with your MPP if you like.
I did that. My MPP just won't help me and won't tell me why. Nobody in government will do anything about this.
Well, because they don't feel that there's anything to be done about it.
No, my MPP won't tell me why they won't help me. My MPP won't tell me why they won't help me.
Well, you can ask them for an explanation.
I did.
Why they won't help you, but
I did. They said we're not going to tell you.
In the letter that they sent you, the letter that you got from the OIPRD is pretty clear that they don't feel it's necessary to investigate this. They agree with the police officer's decision, and the case is closed. And if that's what they determined, that's what they determined. And they're saying if you're not happy with that decision, you can start an action.
You can't sue. The limitation period's gone by, for one thing.
Okay, well, then, unfortunately,
you're screwing me around here. Come on.
Situation. They're just telling you.
You're telling me the OIP director can clearly cover up complaints against police and he can't be, there's nothing anybody can do. There's no way it means that. There's no way that the MOU means that.
Well, if you have issue with what the MOU means, I'm not going to argue with you about that.
Why not? Because I'm right?
No.
How am I wrong?
I already told you.
Yeah, but if you look at the whole MOU, it says they're governed by the MOU.
I read to you the provision that says that the OIPRD acts independently. On top, if you want to argue with me about that, it's just, you're wasting your time. Second, we've had issues like this one in the past, and this is the conclusion we've come to. The Ombudsman's office will not look into this type of thing because the Attorney General doesn't review individual complaints.
Where does it say they don't?
They give you a written explanation of why they weren't going to investigate this.
Who?
If you disagree, you can go and consult with a lawyer.
I've consulted with lawyers. They tell me
well,
the Attorney General has power over them.
Nothing to be done.
If it's what you're saying is true, my MPP would say the same thing, and they're not telling me why they won't help. So there's clearly something they can do.
There is, something called the Independent Police Oversight Review.
I know. They're just going to cover it up.
They're reviewing the YPRD and other organizations.
Yeah, they did that before. That's how the YPRD got created, because they reviewed the old system and created the YPRD.
They're reviewing, their decisions, and you can approach them.
No, you can't. You can't. They're not reviewing their decisions. I already wrote to them. They said we can't look at all the decisions.
Okay. Well, you have their written explanation. So
the OIPRD?
If you're not happy with it, I mean, that's just, people aren't always going to be happy with their decisions.
Yeah. So explain Section 5C to me. Explain Section 5C of the MOU to me.
Well, I didn't draft this legislation.
No, I didn't say you did.
Pardon?
I didn't say you did.
I'm sure you would have some arguments and, in a certain interpretation of why, it means what you want it to mean. But we've consulted, the Ombudsman's office has consulted with the Ministry of Attorney General, and they have said they will not, they will not review individual decisions.
They didn't say they wouldn't review individual complaints. They didn't say that. They didn't say they wouldn't review individual complaints. They said they cannot.
Right now.
They say they cannot review it.
We're not going to do anything about your file, okay?
Yeah.
So
who's your boss's? What's your boss's name?
If you want to speak to a manager, I mean, you can write. You can send a written complaint to our office if you like, but I'm not going to refer you to a manager.
Why not?
Because that's not it's not our process here.
So you have no boss?
No. We work in teams, and I've consulted with my team regarding your complaint, and this is what we've determined, and that is what I've told you just now.
Hang on a second. I'm just punching up the MOU here. And what section are you talking about? The B what?
Okay, you know what? If you want to talk about different ways of interpreting the MOU...
No, what section are you referring to that says they can't do anything about it?
I was referring you to 1.3b.
1.3b.
Look.
I 1.3. I don't see a 3.
1.3b.
I don't see a 3b. It goes from 3 to 4.
One second here. Let me open it up. No, there's 1.3, A and B. Page 3.
Oh. It says they carry out their functions independently. It doesn't say they can't be looked into after they've made a decision. Because look at Section 5C. Explain Section 5C how it matches with 103.B. They don't make sense, the two of them. They contradict each other.
Well, 5C is the director, which says the director is accountable
to the Attorney General for fulfilling his roles and responsibilities
of the OIPRD in fulfilling its mandate,
under the police.
okay, and for carrying out the roles and responsibilities assigned to the director. That's a very, very general clause, okay?
What are you getting at?
1B3 specifies, okay? It carries
carries out its complaints process independently. I'm not asking them to interfere in a complaint. The decision of the OIPRD is final. I'm asking them to review the complaint and determine whether the OIPRD director should be fired or not.
I told you they will not do that.
Yeah, but they said because the OIPRD are independent from the government. But the bottom of the OIPRD, above the MOU, says that the MOU applies.
Okay, you've asked the Attorney General to review the decision of the OIPRD, okay? If they've read the decision and they determine that they will not review it, that's...
No. That's not what they said. They didn't say we're not going to review it because we've read it. They said we can't review the OIPRD because they're independent from the government.
Well, yeah, they have the right to say that because that's true. That's what it is.
But the bottom of the MOU says they're governed by the Police Services Act and this MOU.
Yeah, and it also says that they make their decisions independently.
The decision's already been made, though. I'm not asking them to get them to reverse their decision.
You want them to review the decision?
I want them to see if they're covered up with the decision. I want to see if that's the Attorney General can do that.
You're going outside of their role. They're not going to see if they've covered up you want them to do an investigation?
And I want them to tell the OIPRD to give me an explanation of their decision because they won't tell me. There's no way that
the OIPRD gave you an explanation of their decision. You can't ask MAG to tell OIPRD to give you an explanation.
Why can't I?
If you want an explanation, a more in-depth explanation, you can ask the OIPRD. They've given you an explanation in the letter, okay, that they sent you. And that's totally outside of our role, so there's nothing that our office is going to do here.
But what about Section 5C of the MOU? Explain how that message was 1.3.
Robert, I've already explained that.
No, you haven't. No. It says that the director is accountable to the Attorney General.
Robert, I'm sorry.
You're saying that Section 1.3 says he's not accountable to the Attorney General.
I'm not going to keep arguing with you.
But you're contradicting Section 5C.
Robert, I'm not going to argue with you about 5C. You can go and see a lawyer, okay?
It's written in English. You don't need a lawyer to read it.
Robert, you've called our office.
Yes.
I've consulted with my team, and I've told you we cannot do anything about your complaint.
And that your decision doesn't make sense.
Robert,
your decision doesn't make sense. You're saying that the director is not accountable to the Attorney General, when clearly the MOU says that.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yes, you are.
I can send you a letter in writing.
Yeah.
I can send you an email with my written explanation of why we're not taking your file, okay?
Yeah.
I can do that.
You're saying Section...
I can send you a written explanation.
Right, you're saying Section B says that doesn't apply. So explain Section 5C to me then.
I can send you a written explanation. I'm not going to keep arguing with you over the phone. I'll send you a written explanation.
You understand, if I get this thing fixed, I can charge you with obstruction of justice. You know that? If you can't give me a reasonable explanation as to this decision, what you're doing is obstruction of justice. I've read the criminal code.
I will explain it to you in writing.
Now you'll explain how Section 5C applies. Because according to you, 5C doesn't apply at all.
Robert, that's not what I said.
Yeah, you're saying...
in this call.
Okay, you send me a thing explaining how 5C applies. Okay, send me a thing explaining how 5C applies.